Hey, everybody. Today, I'd like to talk to you about what I think is an invaluable tool when you're trying to finalize your mix to really make sure that it meets all the things that are going to be required by the end user. I think, yes, it's absolutely critical that you own a pair of these, and they are Apple Airpods. I'll just throw them down to the ground. I'll pick them up in a minute. I meant to put them in the case, but anyway, that all fell apart on me, and I'm just going to leave it in. Um, regardless of whether you're an Apple fanboy or you despise Apple, there is no disputing the fact that the Apple AirPods, by far, and it's not even close, regardless of what your feelings about Apple may be, positive or negative, you cannot deny the fact that they are by far the number one selling earbuds on the planet. Are they the best sounding on the planet? No, I don't think so. And I'm what you call an Apple fanboy, okay? But are they the most? Do they sound the best? No, they don't. There's certainly better earbuds out there that give you better bass response, that are just a more enjoyable listening experience, and you can definitely find better for sure. Does that mean you should be using those? Nope, nope. You should be testing your mixes on what people are likely to be listening to your music on. And it's an invaluable tool. Whether you just use them for mixing alone and you hate Apple and you just put them aside and you don't touch them again until you're ready to check a mix again. I think, for people of my generation and probably a lot of you, you do the car test. You go out to it and you check it in your car and see how that mix sounds in your car. Did it translate well from your studio? Did it translate the way you wanted it to in your car? And I think that's also a very invaluable tool to have. I think when people are listening to music today, it's vastly different than the way people listen to music of my generation. My generation, we're kind of audiophiles. We'd build all these component systems, a separate receiver, turntable, power amp, CD player, cassette player, all these individual components, and buy these killer speakers to go with it so it could fill our entire house with loud, cranked up music. Well, that's what my generation did. Me being somebody whose wife had 3 kids after he turned 40, I get to see what the current generation does. I've got one in college. I've got 2 and seniors in high school. And then I've got 2 grown adults, okay? And so, I kind of pay attention to the way they listen to music. And, I had a killer receiver, a killer set of speakers I've had for many, many years that I tried to give to my oldest son, and he'd put them in his room, and he never connected them because that's not the way people today, for the most part, get their music, okay? It's via some type of headphones or earbuds, okay? And so if you really want to check your mixes, it's super important that you do that in a variety of ways. I mean, back over there, you can't see it. Let's see. No, you can't see it back over there now. The tree's covering it up. But I have a little small boom box. It has these tiny little speakers on it. That's wired into to my studio here so I can check my mixes on those. But the reality is nobody listens to music that way. It's just another way to see how it translates, okay? And so I'll be honest with you, it wasn't until I started doing this channel, and I'm really trying to nail down the tone of my voice because I'm not used to doing dialogue. It's a totally different animal that has to be approached completely differently in so many ways and other things. And as I'm going through it, I would be listening to it. My studio sounded great. I'd check it up on my TV upstairs through my Apple TV, playing YouTube that way. Sounds great. Then boom, I'd put in my AirPods and I'm like, it sounds a little thin, Barry. It sounds a little thin. Well, I found that it was more important that I tried to get that towards what it's going to sound like in my AirPods, because that's the way most people are most likely going to listen to it. Like I said before, you cannot deny the success of the AirPods. Me, I'll be honest with you. When they first came out, I thought they were stupid looking. I thought, man, why in the world would anybody want to walk around with that big old stick hanging out of their ear? That's what it looks like. And I held off on buying them forever. I mean, years. It really wasn't until last year I broke down and bought a set. And I'm here to tell you, I've lost them twice, or thought I lost them, and I've replaced them twice. There's no amount of money that I would not spend to ensure that I have them. And so I use them for many, many different things. I love the noise canceling in them. That's super fantastic. When my wife is sleeping right next door, we have a little media room beside our bedroom. I go in there and I put my AirPods in and I listen and I watch TV that way. And so there's so many uses for them, but I'll be the first to concede that if I'm listening to music, there's really not enough bass. There's not enough low end in them to the way I would want to listen to it. And so I found that it's a compromise. Well, regardless of that, that's what most people are listening to, the content you put up there. That's what they're going to be listening to them on. So I think it's a vital tool for checking your mixes. It's an investment well worth making. And I would strongly encourage you to spend the extra money and get the pros. Because if they sound good on the pros, they're going to sound good on the regular ones. And so at the end of the day, I think that is probably the best way to go. And so I think you need to strongly consider that. Like I said, the card check is important. Having another set of monitors in your studio. I've got a review coming out on some speakers that were sent to me to review. Then I'm going to have some opinions on that too. They're more low-end monitors, but there is value to that as a secondary set of monitors. So all of you at some point in your journey have gotten frustrated that the mix you do in your home studio, whether it's a bedroom or whether you're doing it with headphones or whether you're doing it in some really, decked out home studio and everything, at some point in your journey, you've been frustrated because your mixes were not translating well into other sources. So check them on what people are going to be listening to them on, okay? And I strongly suggest that if you're at the stage where you're putting music out that is going to be listened to by a variety of people, you should invest in a pair of AirPods. I really think they're critical. I didn't say earbuds. I said AirPods specifically. If there were another brand that dominated, it dominated the volume of what's being used by the vast majority of people or by a significant high majority of people, I would say buy that brand. If it were 50-50, I'd say buy both, And so I think it's going to be an invaluable tool. And I'm here to tell you, AirPods are they're depending on what you're doing, I think they're really cool. But that said, I know there's a lot of other cool ones out there too that I maybe haven't tried. But because I'm in the Apple ecosystem, there's so many little features that come with it when you're in that ecosystem that just make them compelling. Although, if I'm listening to music, don't really like them that much. I'd much rather listen to a set of earpods or ear headphones that have some more low-end response to them that these just simply don't have, or at least the generation I have, which is not the last generation that came out. It's the one before that. If they've improved it since then, I'm not sure. Let me know if you think they have, if you've got a set of them. But regardless of that, whether you just use them for mixing or whether you use them for a variety of things, I think it's super critical to check your mixes on a set of AirPods. Okay? That's all I've got for you today. Till next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.